I'm going to start off in Illustrator with just making the assets we're going to need. Make a new file, film and video, 1920 by 1080, leave all these settings alone, and hit create. From here, I went and I searched for a image that I liked. If you're going to use image trace, I recommend finding something that's high contrast with maybe nothing over the top of it. This is a good option. The one that was open a second ago is a good option. You could use an illustration. This is a butterfly illustration. So I mean, so it'll be clear. It's up to you. I personally wanted to use something that was an actual butterfly wing, that wasn't an illustration, and I just right click on it and copy image. Let's move this back. And then in here, Control V will paste it. If I hover over the corner, I get this little back and forth arrow. And when I drag, it'll scale it. If I hold down Shift, it scales uniformly. And while still holding down Shift, if I hold down Alt as well, it'll scale from the center. So now we've done that. I'm going to use image trace. So keep in mind, this is the way that I am creating my assets. If you feel more comfortable using Procreate or Photoshop or whatever is going to help you get this work done the, fastest or most comfortably, use it. Use what you know to your advantage. If you're using other programs like Procreate, Photoshop, or Krita or whatever, that is perfectly fine. That's just how you're comfortable designing. This class is more for animation, but you want things to look good that you're animating. So if you feel like you're going to do a better job in another program, do it. Have fun with it. I'm hoping that it's not super stressful every single project that you want to do. So, to continue on, I'm going to go to Window, Image Trace, so that I can get the image trace settings. As soon as I hit Preview, you see here it says Image. If I click on Preview, it turns that image into an image trace. And so the way the image trace threshold works is that if I turn it way down, it takes less of the image, and I turn it way up, it takes more of the image, but you can't see any of the details. So you gotta find that balance between detail and all that. So the image trace has advanced settings that let you play with corners and with the noise in the image. These are settings that can just be played around with. The higher I turn up the noise threshold, the less of these circles I get. And so I don't want to turn it up too high. I just want to maybe get rid of a tiny bit of noise. And so I'm just playing around with these settings. I think I wanted to only create fills and no strokes. And I'm mostly going to be sticking to just this wing. I think this wing is going to be the most successful um, in our endeavors. And I'm just going to turn back up that noise a little bit because it seems like we're getting some extra spots and maybe some places I don't want. And I mean, we can always create some extra cutouts. I mostly want to focus on this piece here because the rest of it I can create a circle and cut it out. So I think that's good. I'm going to close this, and as soon as we changed it to an image trace, this changed up here also, and we have this expand button. This will convert the traced object into paths. So as soon as I click it, it turns this into a group of paths. If I wanted, I could double click on it and I can work inside the group, but from this group, I really only want one piece. So I'm actually going to, I can either ungroup, so click on it, ungroup, and click on the piece that I want, scroll down to find it, and then delete everything else. So to lock it, select everything else and delete it like we did the last time. Or I can just go down all the way to where my butterfly compound path is. And I know because it's the only one that, if I look really close, looks like a really tiny version of my butterfly wings, and it's the only one that isn't this white background color. So I'm going to drag it out of my group. I just clicked on the layer and dragged it all the way up. And so if you just hover near the top, it starts scrolling you up. You can drag anything out. And so I just drag this out and I select the group because now the piece that I want isn't inside the group anymore. I can now just delete the whole group. That's another way of doing it. And so I want to isolate just this wing because this is the one that I said looked the nicest and I thought was going to work most successfully. So I'm going to create a shape that is going to cut out just the pieces that I want. And so I want to actually work with these at an angle. I'm going to switch back to my selection tool so I don't accidentally create another rectangle. And I'm going to put this at an angle so that way I only cut off just the pieces I want and I get to keep a little bit extra there. Okay, so that's done. If I hold down Alt, it creates a new icon mouse. That means to duplicate. So Alt, click, drag, and now I have a second one. And then release while still holding down Alt. Okay, so now I have a second one. I'm going to rotate this one the opposite way and fiddle with it until it's about where I want it. I'm just going to be moving both of them around. If I hover over the corner, I get that rotate tool. And let's see, maybe right there. If I hover over the butterfly, I get to see where the outline is at. And so maybe right there looks good. I can just adjust this some more. This is just so that way I don't get so much of it cut off. So now if I select this one, shift, click, select the other one, shift, click the butterfly wings, I've got all three selected. Or if I click down somewhere that's not on an object, just on this empty piece, if you look closely, this creates a marquee when I click and drag. And so long as the marquee is touching a piece of what I want it to select and release, it'll select all three. Okay, so now let's go to the shape builder tool. So what I want to do is going to seem, I guess, counterintuitive. I'm just going to click on this wing right here. I'm not going to click anywhere here because this is a lot of little tiny pieces that I'm going to have to make sure to catch when I undo it to try and, delete these pieces. I'm just going to click on just this wing, not holding down Alt to get rid of it. I'm just going to basically add it to itself. So when I click on it, it does turn a different color, but that's okay. I can just change the color in a minute. What I want to do now, though, is get out of the Shape Builder tool, and I want to select these 3 pieces that were left behind. Because had I went and I tried to cut out all these little pieces, I would have been left with a lot of little scattered pieces. So now that I only selected just this piece and I didn't select the wing on this side, it didn't separate it into all these millions of tiny little pieces you have to get rid of. Okay, so I've done that. Select those 3 large chunks of stuff I want to get rid of and delete it. Okay. I want to change this to an off black. Maybe a butterfly wing would be. Maybe make it slightly tinted. There we go. Okay, cool. Nice, maybe darker. There we go. Okay. So nice, slightly off black. Right, the ways that I'm going to adjust this, I'm going to show probably a few methods. I'm just going to use the curvature tool, and I'm going to use the shape builder tool because we'll get there. Okay, so I'm going to start with this piece so that I can show how I would use both the curvature and pen tool, the curvature tool and the shape builder tool at the same time. So if I click on the path, you'll know when you hover over it, it creates that, it turns blue, and then you click on it and it'll let you adjust that piece of the path. So if I select this and drag it closer to this piece, and I select this piece, and I'm getting a little bit of weird, see the twisting? So what I can do is if I double click on this and maybe adjust it a little bit and pull this one in to just make it thinner, that'll at least help with that twisting. See, it doesn't twist anymore. If I hover over this way, I get some twisting again. I don't want that. So I can take this side, drag it this way, take this side, drag it this way. So now that they're overlapping really well right here, if I go back to the selection tool and select the whole thing, right? So if I just select down on the fill, it selects the whole fill, and I can use the shape builder tool to drag over these pieces that were technically one piece, but because the strokes were overlapping, it kind of was like 2 pieces in a way, theoretically, I guess. It's a compound path, so it has compounded pieces. And so I'm able to use a shape builder tool to connect them like this. And so that got rid of that hole there. I can go back to the curvature pen tool, hover over the path until it says that little pink word path, click on it, and now I can access the points. I missed the path. There we go. Alright, so that's one. Got that adjusted. Looks nice. Maybe right here I want to make this rounded. Bring it in a little. And so all I'm doing is if I click on the path, I have access to the points. With the curvature pen tool, if it's a sharp point like this that has a little circle with a dot in the middle, I can double click on it and it turns it into a curved one. Or if I select a point, I can delete it. Select, delete. The other way to delete points, if you don't want to have to hit the delete key, is you go to the pen tool, the regular pen tool, and you hover over a point, the pen tool turns into a minus, so that will also delete points. There are multiple ways to do that, but I usually just stick to the curvature tool and I use the delete key. That's just the way I'm comfortable doing it. You do whatever you feel happy doing. Alright, so that was that one. I'm going to do a similar thing to all the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording, and I'll be back later once I'm done adjusting all those little pieces. Alright, I'm back. That maybe took like 5 minutes for me. Okay, so all I did was just delete a lot of the sharp points really, and just maybe adjust a couple of the curve points, and that was about it. I really only messed with this one, maybe this one, and all of these because they were all sharp like that. So I want to add a few more circles though. I don't want so little, and so I'm going to make there we go. Okay, V for the selection tool. So I made one circle, and there we go. And I can Alt drag it. Hold down Alt, drag, copy drag it a few times. And do this all over the place, wherever I like. If I hover over the edge, I can shrink them down to whatever size. Make them long, make them skinny, make them short, make them however, rotate them. This is your design, so have fun with it. Alright, so I think that's not so bad. Okay, so, I might actually keep a few of these on the edge here as just white and not cut them out like I'm going to do the other ones. And so this is just so that we have that monarch butterfly kind of white spot look on the edge there. If, say, I wanted all of these to be smaller, I'm going to take this real quick though, and I'm going to actually lock it, just so I don't select it. I want to scale these down. So I'm going to go to Object, Transform, and Transform Each. This will give me each one transform in its own way. So I want to scale these down by like maybe 30% each. Okay. So I'm going to do that one more time. Object, Transform, Transform Each. Made each one 30%. But I'm going to do one other thing. I'm also going to hit Random. So what Random does is it gives you a random amount of scaling for each one from 100% to 30%. And so every time you turn it off and back on, it does that. So there we go, hit OK, that's done. Right, and just rearrange them a little more. That looks nice. Alright, I think I'm going to leave these white. I might leave this one there, make a copy there. There we go. Okay, I might leave those white. But I'm probably going to cut out maybe make a copy, make it small. Carefully, because it's so tiny, I have to get really zoomed in there. There we go. So I'm going to cut out these, I'm going to cut out those. So I need to go back and unlock my wing layer, select the wing, and select all the pieces I would like to cut out. So I said I wanted all these tiny ones, but I'm going to leave these on the edge and those on the edge. And I'm going to go to the Shape Builder tool and then zoom in, and I'm going to just either I can individually cut out each piece, or I can do like I did the last time. If I just hover over only the wing and don't hold down Alt, don't anything, just click on it one time. That separates this from those. and it basically does a little cookie cutter cutout of these pieces. So if I go back to the selection tool and I move this, oop, these are grouped. Let me see, did this do what I wanted it to do? Kind of. Okay. It just won't let them move separately. Or maybe I had them all selected and I didn't realize it. But yeah, so you see, once I locked the compound piece, and if I turn it off and on, we can see that we still have these pieces here. But if I select them and I delete it, there's these little pieces underneath that basically cookie cuttered out of our butterfly. They just are a little difficult to select, but that's okay. There we go. So we just cut them out. Nice. All right. So I kind of want one more piece right here. Select both to unlock it. Select both. Shape Builder. Because it's only one piece, I can just hold down Alt, click on it. That's the other way. Okay. All right, cool. So we got that done. To create a gradient behind this, I'm actually thinking if I do this way, I create an oval, V for the selection tool, cancel, okay, V, there we go, hover it over the wing, and then I kind of want to, real quick, make sure I have all the pieces I want in a certain way. So this, I'm going to lock it for now. I'm going to select all these little white dots. I'm going to go Alt-G, or Control-G in After Effects, and group them together. And these are the white spots. And so I can lock those and hide those away. And so this ellipse that I made, I'm going to cut out my wing from this shape by just going and selecting both the ellipse and the wing. My white spots are locked, so they're not selected. And then I'm going to do Shift M for the Shape Builder tool. And I'm going to just maybe trying to think about how to go about this. So maybe I need to make a copy and then lock that just in case, and then only select these two, the copy and the ellipse, and then Shift M, select the wing, and I'm going to just drag over all these circles. I messed up there because I didn't want to get that piece. Oh, Control Z, there we go. Just carefully drawing over all these circles here. There we go. Okay. Because that should have created the piece I wanted. Technically, you could have just drawn something with the curvature pen tool that kind of just fit inside behind those circles. However you feel like doing it, however works best for you, do it. I'm going to delete the leftover excess from the outside. I just selected the layer that said composite whatever, and this one says path. So I'm going to select this one, which was the leftover of our oval, and drag it down to this little trash can, let go. Okay. So now this is my colored background. Okay. So I still have my monarch butterfly image open over here. I should have made a copy and selected my colors from the get-go, but I didn't. But at least they're here. So I'm going to create a few shapes that I'm just going to put my colors inside of. And so select one, eye for the eyedropper tool, and select a part of the image that has the color I want. Let's go with about right there. The next piece right here, we'll make it a gradient, radial, and select the node, and then select the little color picker there. And the centerpiece is like this color, and the light pieces maybe like this color. Okay. And then I'm going to create a third node. If I hover over an empty space here below the gradient, I can get the little plus, and then maybe whatever's in here. There we go. Okay. So I got those colors, and for the white spots, eyedropper tool, and select that, just because never truly white. So select the white spots, eye for the eyedropper tool, and eyedrop this color. And now all our spots have changed to that color. Cool. That's one part done. Now our color BG, I'm going to eyedropper and select that. And so as soon as I did that, it brought our gradient onto here. I'm going to edit the gradient. So if I click on that edit gradient, it pulls up this tool. And the way this tool works is if I hover over this point or this point, I can scale my gradient. And if I hover over this completely dark spot, I can make it more oval. And this piece is where does my gradient radiate from? What is the center of my radial gradient? And so I'm going to hover this over the center of the butterfly. I might make this more oval. And so if you hover over the dotted line, you get this rotate symbol. So I can rotate the oval to cover the pieces of my gradient. If I hover over this white line here in the middle and I get a the black selection there, I can drag it up and down in placement. And so there we go. Move it to the center here again. And so I also have the pieces of the nodes. And so I can pull this in further here. So this looks just like this. And as I adjust this, it adjusts that. I think that's okay. And so I'm going to make this whatever colors actually I want. So I might want something like this, like that, like this. Cool. All right, that's what I want it to be. I might want this to be a little more like that. There we go. Just play with it till you like it. So that looks nice. That's my wing. So I'm going to save for now, and I'm going to save this to where I know I'll be able to find it. School tutoring, new folder, monarch project. And I'm going to name this monarch assets because I'm going to use this same file to I'm just taking these off of the artboard so that when I export it, hopefully, even then, I'm going to probably just take these pieces go Alt G or Control G again. Sorry, Control G. Try one more time. All these pieces. Control G. Okay, that grouped them. And call these reference. And then hide them, just in case. Doesn't hurt. Alright, so this is my wing layer. That's one piece of our puzzle. Next, we need a new layer. This layer, I'm going to lock my wing layer, is going to be the butterfly body. And I need to turn back on my unlock the whole thing. There we go. Alright, turn this back on because I forgot I need, that's fine. I need my reference image to make my butterfly body. Okay, that's fine. Drag these above the reference. There we go. Doesn't have to be exact. Just close. There we go. Okay. So the butterfly body is I'm just going to use the curvature pen tool. Lock this again so I don't accidentally select it. And make sure I'm on my butterfly body layer. There we go. And this is where I'll draw my butterfly shape. So far I made 3 dots. One here, one here, one here. I go to the fill real quick and I'm just going to change this to something else. And then I'm going to click right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. And this is just taking some getting used to. If you don't like a point, just adjust it. I'm basically just trying to make these points at symmetrical-ish now, so that way it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but similar. So there we go, that's not bad. Butterfly body, butterfly antenna, here, here, maybe like that. And switch this and go to properties, turn up the stroke, and then I'm going to actually take this bottom point here, escape, there you go, and just to drag that back down. And I'm actually going to make this thinner, maybe like 2, 3, 2. If I click on stroke right here, I can access the caps, do round caps instead. And I could zoom in here and use the width tool to adjust the width of the antenna. So I'm creating a point right here for the width to basically lock down here and everything before it. Then I'll create a width point here after I've created the small one here, because had I done it the other way and I just started before I created the width point, if I just started here and pulled it out, it does the whole thing in like a taper. And then I could pull this in afterwards or whatever, however order you want to do it in. But I prefer starting with the thin point and then doing the thicker point to give myself some better control. Alright, cool. That's that. And then I can just Alt drag this piece, object, transform, reflect, and say okay. Rotate it a little bit. There you go. Not bad. Alright. There is the body. Alright, we've got a wing, we've got a top view body. So let's call this body top. And I need a second one, another layer. That's butterfly body side. So that way when the butterfly is flying from the sideways view, we can do that. And so let me turn off the reference layer and lock it so that I don't have to see it. Our butterfly body layer. And next is the side body. And so like we used the width tool for the other one, could actually use the width tool for this one. And so I'm going to again stroke round caps, looks good, and turn on the width tool. And I actually don't mind if this one tapers because I do want it to go from here to there. And so if you hover over this point in the middle on the width tool for the path, you can drag it up and down the path. So I actually want this maybe about here. And this comes down to just thinking about shape of the butterfly you want to be. So there we go. So for the width tool, you start from the center and you drag out each time. You want to make a change. There we go. I might look up a reference because that one is a hard one. Side, butterfly, outline. So maybe drag this all the way to the end. And so maybe make this thinner. And I can still go to the curvature pen tool and select my points and drag them up and down or in or out and all that. Back to the width tool. Drag these down. I feel like that's not bad. Maybe make this point a little more curved. This one a little less extreme. There we go, and can maybe check and see size-wise, they kind of close, I guess. All right. So our antenna, I'm going to, down here, the path, if I hold down Alt and drag it up the same way we copied the other one, I can add it into my butterfly body side layer. And I can then make some adjustments to it. Might have a little too many pieces. There we go. Just because it'll be flying, maybe it'll look like it's cool against the wind or something. There we go, and make a copy and rotate it a little more. Nice. And then some legs, so maybe here, double click, here, make some legs. this lower. There it goes, not so bad. Maybe similar to the other width tool. There you go, that looks kind of insect-like, however you like. Make a copy, select these two, Alt, drag, make another copy, Alt, drag. And then now I can adjust the, not with the pen tool, but with the curvature pen tool. If I want, I can adjust the angle of the legs. Carefully escape, select, escape, select, escape, select, escape. Maybe make these legs closer. The one that's supposed to supposedly be in the back a little further. There you go, not so bad. We got some legs. Got a body. All right, so that's that. I can then hide all these pieces. I'm gonna lock the body side, body top, and wing. Hide that. Create a new layer, which I'm not sure why these didn't hide. There we go. Okay, so that's hidden now. And then this new layer, this is gonna be named Cloud 1. And if I make a circle, flip it, and make it like a nice light blue off-white for now. You can make one circle, make another circle, make an oval, make another. If I hover over the middle, even though I'm in the ellipse tool, I can adjust the position or do it while making the piece. If I hold down spacebar. Alright, cool, one cloud. One cloud down, nice. Alright, this cloud, if I want to add a gradient to it, I need to select all the pieces, shape builder tool, and drag over all the pieces, cool. And then add a gradient. I want a linear gradient. And I want it to be 90 degrees. And I need to click on the point and then hit delete stop. I can't hit the delete key because then it'll, delete the object and not the gradient. For my bottom stopper, I think I want, like I said earlier, like a blue-ish white. And I actually want this one to be the same color. So I'm just going to delete that point, drag this over and make a stopper here, and then delete these points. So that way it's the same color all throughout. But here on the end here, I want the opacity to be like 30. There we go, cool. All right, one down. And if I want, I can go to, or I'll do that. Okay, cloud 1, done. Okay, I'm going to make another cloud now. So I'm going to just copy drag this layer, holding down Alt, drag it down. Name this cloud long, I guess. We'll do cloud 1, name it cloud short. Not short, short. There we go. And maybe the third one, cloud, medium. Medium. There we go. All right. I have a long one, a short one, and a medium one. So I'm on the cloud medium layer, or nope, I was on the cloud short layer. I'm gonna lock cloud short. This one's cloud long. I could take the same shape and I could add a few extra pieces to make it a little different. And then select all three, shape builder tool, and add them together. Cool. Now I have a long cloud that looks slightly different. For cloud medium, I'm going to do this. I'm going to maybe make it shorter, and same business, add some circles and some new places, with some new nice bumps here and there, make it a different cloud. Right there, okay. And then select all of these pieces, and then shape builder tool and drag over all of them. There we go. I used the curvature pen tool. I'm just bringing that down a little. I didn't quite like the way that one looked. Okay, cool. There's my medium cloud, short cloud, long cloud. Okay. So I'm going to unlock the short cloud. I'm going to just move the mole to the middle. So the thing about After Effects, when you bring the Illustrator file over, is that it just separates all the layers, the topmost layers, into pieces. And so whether they're overlapping or not doesn't quite make a difference if you're going to separate out those pieces. So locking all of these, making a new layer, and this is going to be my mountain, and hide all those clouds. So I might actually just use the pen tool, because it just makes straight points when you click between stuff. Gotta think about a mountain. And come straight down, come this way, and circle back. Oop. Okay, I'm going to use the curvature pen tool to adjust my points, just because that's how I'm more comfortable adjusting stuff in here. And I actually want this to go beyond the artboard, of course. Oops, there we go. So that way, don't get any weird stuff. Maybe make, I'm going to hold down Alt and copy the mountain. I'm going to call this mountain background. That's for later. I'm going to actually just go to my selection tool. I'm going to offset it a little. And maybe scale it down. Boop. There we go. That's just so that's there. I'm going to make the color of these not a gradient, but maybe like a dark grayish rocky blue. Okay. Maybe lighter. Okay. Fudge. Gotta have them selected. There we go. That's not so bad. To make shadows on your mountain, we can Once again, I guess use the pen tool. I'm going to open these up and I'm going to lock the paths that were for the original mountains. Just so that way when I use the pen tool or the curvature pen tool, it doesn't make any points on these because I don't want to add any additional points to that. So, I'm just double clicking with the curvature pen tool to make these sharp pieces. Oh, right. There we go. Okay, I have to be on the right layer, so I was on Mountain BG. Need to be on Mountain. So there's that piece. Can make this a little more maybe jagged to make it seem like there's some depth to this mountain. There's one. Gonna take a look at the there we go. So and Illustrator has snapping, so it'll snap to these points. You don't necessarily have to make them meet at that perfect point down there. At another point, maybe go back to the selection tool, hold down Alt, drag. I'm gonna hide Mountain BG because I want to see what makes up this mountain, and so I might take this, maybe go something like that. So I'm just doing this because this point is, higher up than this point, and this point right here for a mountain, I'm not sure how tall it's going to be, but, I can definitely try and imagine what this might look like, and you don't have to be that precise with it. There you go, that's kind of cool. And then as for the background, I wonder if it would be better if I just took this layer and dragged it down to the trash can and made a copy of this mountain that I've already made and call it Mountain BG like the other one, and select it, drag it up to make sure I have Mountain BG selected. I'm going to lock my original mountain layer because it's just going to keep getting in the way if I don't. Shrink this down, maybe scale it up a bit. that's not so bad. I can take this piece and go curvature tool, snap it all the way to the top. Go. Just have to see that point again. And go. Okay. And this piece back here, I might actually make it a little darker than the other one. I know I can do this over there, but I also just want to make it less saturated. Let's see, manually just lower the saturation and the brightness just a little. There we go. Same with these. Lower the saturation a little bit. Brightness. There you go. Okay, so that's that for the mountains. Alright, so I can turn all the visibilities back on. And I can go File, just save. Okay. Now that I've saved it, I can open After Effects. And in here, in my case, I need to make a new project. And I'm going to make a new composition. I'm actually going to make it square. You can make it whatever shape you want, doesn't matter. For now, at least, just because I'm going to make it 5 seconds long. This is just for the butterfly loop. You can make it 1,000, you can make it 2,000, you can make it 3,000 by 3,000, you can make the 1920 by 1080 square or 16 by 9. If you do the 16 by 9, do 1920 by 1080. This is just for the butterfly loop. So I'm gonna just make, I know I have the wing already, but I'm gonna, because I know that some of you already have the animation and not the butterfly stuff done yet, I'm gonna show you how to replace the an animation you've already done. So anchor point tool, pick where you want it to rotate from, and I'm going to make sure this is there. Okay. Back to the selection tool. There we go. Okay. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Make a substitute body. So if you hold, if you go up or down arrow keys, it ups the rounding on the rounded rectangle tool, and spacebar while you're making a shape to adjust it. And there we go. Okay. So we've got the body, we've got the wings, we've got, oh, I didn't separate them out. Okay. So if you've already done this, like I have, you can actually, I'll make a new, I can make a new shape layer. I can take this rectangle into, or not, I guess. Alright, it's fine. Just make the new rectangle. Make sure you don't have a shape selected, and then place it where you want it. Okay, there we go. Butterfly, wing. So for the top, For the top flapping animation, let's call this rename butterfly icon, because that's gonna be, I can rename it properly, icon. You want it to be big enough to house your circle. I'm actually gonna make the ellipse right now. There we go. Okay, align center, and then make it a different color. Fill. White, add a stroke. That's whatever color you want it to be. I'm making mine gray. There we go. And this is my icon background. This is my left wing. Make that capital. Left wing. Right wing. Oh no, this is body. Body. And make a copy Control D of the wing and rename it right wing, and then layer, transform, flip horizontal. So that gives me the opposite side. Okay, so now I have wings and a body. I'm going to lock the background. I'm going to select all three of these, and I'm going to whoop, try to scale them. S for scale. Nope. So you know, honestly, I think it would be best to just use what you already have in Illustrator, but let's see. So I'm just trying to think about, because when it comes down to it later on, you'll have to adjust the scaling. Let me see. Let me just see how it works out real quick. There we go, that's centered. Illustrator, where did I save that to again? Import file, data, school, tutoring, monarch project, monarch assets, import, and import kind, composition, footage dimensions, layer size, okay. And so now we've got all our assets in here. And so to replace all the pieces we already had in here, I could take a wing, and if I select the left wing, first select the layer, then wing monarch asset, and select that, and drag. If I hold down, there we go. If I hold down Alt, you see when I'm not holding down Alt, it creates this line that's placing it between the layers. But if I hold down Alt, it gets rid of that line and is going to replace the selected layer. Let's see. I can drag it straight in, but I can't replace the layer with it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be better to just, since you haven't gotten that far, maybe just start with just only the assets you've made, just because it'll be the path of less resistance on this. Um, Bring in the butterfly body top view. Scale that one down. V for the selection tool. And take both of these. Maybe scale them down a little further. Okay. Composition or layer. Copy the layer. Layer, transform, flip horizontal. There we go. I'm going to readjust some of my anchor points. So make sure they're all rotating where I want them to rotate from. Okay, there we go. So we've got that done. I'm going to take both wings. I need to rename them. So I just double clicked on the layer and it ended up pulling up that information. I just need to go back to the composition. So this is my right wing. I hit enter, I can rename it. So this is my right wing. Enter left wing. That's the body. And I'm going to take both of these and parent them to the body. And then I'm going to hit the body. I'm going to center that. I might actually want this to be, so V for the selection tool, so I don't. I think right here is fine. Okay. So that's been figured out. For the animating part, we need to turn these wings into 3D. So as soon as I hit the 3D button, they were turned into 3D. I need to hit rotation, so that way I can pull up the rotation information. And then I need to take the Y rotation of the one I want to be the child, and I need to take and connect it to the one that I want to be the parent. So in this case, I think I want the, actually I want to reorder these. I want to make the left wing the parent. So I'm going to select both of these, rotation again, there we go. So I want left wing Y to be the parent. So I'm going to take the one from right, drag it to left. Okay. Again, right, drag it to left. We want only this one to be red. Once it's red, that means there's an expression. And I can go times shift 8, -1. And that multiplies whatever rotation that's input from here by -1 to the other side. And that lets them flap together. I might need to scale this down, or just because it brings it closer to the camera. So I'm going to go to butterfly body, scale, rescale the whole thing down a little further. That one alone, there we go. There we go, that's a little better. Alright, so I need to close right wing, because I don't want to mess with that anymore. I only want to mess with the left wing because the left wing is controlling the right wing. So now to make some keyframes. So I want it to always come down to 0. And so we'll set a keyframe there for that. And then let's say it takes a whole second to do the whole thing. To do a full flap. So I'm going to take this keyframe, I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it to the end. Then I'm going to go to 12 in the middle, and I'm going to rotate this as much as I think I need to. Maybe like, I like -50. Seems like a good place to stop. Yeah. So now, because I set the first keyframe to be 0, the third keyframe to be 0, and the middle one to be that up one, it goes up and then it comes back down. So there we go. And we'll take a look at our curves. We need to make these E's. And maybe drag these in a little for some sharper flapping. Okay, now we can loop our keyframes. If I hold down Alt and I click on the stopwatch, it now turns this one into having an expression. And so I need to come out of the graph editor and go to the expression. If I just click on the words down here, I can edit them. And I just want, if I start typing in loop, it pulls up the list of loops, and I want loop out. And then I can hit enter. Once I hit enter, it pulls up that loop out, and that's really all I need. Now it should loop for the full duration of our timeline. So that's not bad. I like that. Close out the render queue. This is our assets. We don't really need to see that, so I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this assets. Put these in there, and I'm going to close this. I'm going to make another folder. I'm going to call this pre-comps. And I'm going to put this butterfly icon in the pre-comps folder, because this technically is, it's both a main and it's both a pre-comp. But I guess I'm going to just stick with pre-comp. Okay, so there's that. We've got the flapping done, and now we need the map. So I have the map opened over here on the side, and I'm going to just drag it in. So this is part of my assets, and I'm going to make a new comp. This one is going to be 1920 by 1080. So I can just go to preset HD TV 1080 24, and that'll give me exactly what I need. And I will make this one maybe just 5 seconds. And I might actually need to make it longer. Let's make it like 10 seconds. Which means I'm going to go into my butterfly icon, and I'm also going to make this one like 10 seconds. Just because it's safer to have more than you'll need. Let's make it 10, 12. Okay. And that way I can just scale down, select all my layers. If I hover over the end, I get that double arrow. I can drag out. I had this one locked, so I needed to unlock it. Select that layer and drag it out. Okay, that fixes that. So this will loop for the entire duration of that. Right, I needed to name this composition. I guess I didn't. Enter to rename. This one is going to be monarch map. And I'm actually going to make a new folder. I'm going to name this main scenes. And I'm going to put this one in there because I don't know if I'll just name the icon it's a main scene just because kind of is, kind of isn't. So for monarch map, we need to drag in our North America map. And we need to mask it out, just the pieces we'll need. So pen tool, and just make some points to mask out only the pieces that you're gonna need. And kind of want to just in case, you know, make it a little bigger than you think you'll need. Just so long as it gets rid of the stuff you don't want on the outside. And we need to go back to the selection tool, select our PNG, and look for what our end position is going to be, because we are going to be zooming in to about right here. And so So scaling it up is a dangerous game, now that I think about it. And our camera is going to be zooming in as well. You know, that's fine. We'll drag it up like this. I'm going to pull up the title action save. So that way I know where it's safe to have my action happening. Also pull up, not this grid. Oh, it's supposed to be this one. Right. So the proportional grid, in order to get it to look like mine, if you want preferences, grids and guides, and in those settings, you need to change the proportional grid, horizontal and vertical sections to 3 and 3 so that you can have a rule of thirds grid. Because if not, I think it's like 4 and 4 or some other number. Yeah, so I like to use this for planning out where everything's gonna go. So that looks good. I'll probably have a path start here, a path start here, maybe a path start here or something, and have it come down to about over here. Okay, so we need to make our paths. So select our pen tool and select a point and click, drag, spacebar to adjust, click, drag, and that looks pretty good. Click, drag, drag, drag. I think that should be fine, and then click, nope, okay. I've also made the dire mistake of not deselecting my North America layer. So there's that. Click, whoop, drag, 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 or not, just point, no dragging. So that looks fine. I don't want to fill. If I hold down Alt and click on the fill, it'll cycle through the options. I want no fill. And I want my stroke to be smaller. And I might want this to start maybe here, and maybe not pass through whatever that weird point is. And yeah, end right about there. Okay, And so I'm just in the pen tool and adjusting the pieces. Start here, come closer, but don't touch. Maybe there, swerve like that, and then end here, and then this one here, nope, escape, and so, boom, boom, boom. I have to remember to deselect, then make the point, then drag, then point. Okay. I think that looks fine. Just adjusting the points again. Okay. Deselect, select, drag, and point. Okay. Oh, cancel. Okay. Select shape layer 2. I want to adjust this point back in a little. There you go. They'll all end kind of evenly right around here. If I hold down Alt and scroll wheel, I zoom in and out. Middle mouse button and Alt together, it lets me pan. And then, so I got my paths, and I can open them up, I can taper them, and stroke, there we go, taper, and I want to mess with the start length and end length. So this just tells it where to begin tapering, so that's start length. This is end length because this is where my my shape ended. So 25% looks good for both sides. I can then take taper. If I hover over the very tippy top part of taper, I copy, and then I go to my other shape layer and contents shape and paste into there, I think. Nope, maybe stroke. There we go. So yeah, I have to drill down into contents, shape, stroke, and I can paste those taper values into all of them. I could have just selected all three and done it at once, but I didn't, so that's fine. So we've got our paths. We need to bring in our icon. So when I drag it in, of course it's huge. I need to scale it way down. And we need to figure out what size we need it to be there at the end. Maybe smaller, probably. Yeah, okay. So I just needed to figure out the size I was going to maybe need it to be. A little bigger, continuously rasterized, and not only does it have to be on in here, but it also needs to be on in here. And then when we get this weird distortion, it's just because we need to turn on the 3D function in here. And now we shouldn't get that strange distortion. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Right, so now that I have enabled 3D, I can't use my regular Alt middle mouse button, so I have to use spacebar, drag around for the hand tool. So done that, added that. Let's add a layer style. There we go, layer styles. Drop shadow. And never just take the default they give you. It'd be nice to adjust it to how much you like. I don't think I want it to look so sharp. So just lower the opacity to 25%. You can mess with the angle, distance, spread, size, noise, all that fun stuff. I just want it to be lighter. And then I can take the drop shadow, copy, paste. That worked fine. Paste. And paste. Okay. Okay, there we go. So that seems to have worked for that. Now that I have the drop shadow, I have it in 3D, the wings flapping look okay, flap, flap, flap. I need to now add the paths into the butterflies, the butterflies position transform. So in here, I need to open it up, go into contents, shape, path, copy the path, put it in the position, select it, paste, nope. Right, it needs to be this one with the stopwatch. It can't just be the, it can't just be this one with the twirl down. You have to go all the way down into the main parts of the contents, and then that can be pasted into position. Alright, so our butterfly icon, we need a few, so we need 2 more. And we need to change their position. We need to go into these 2, open them up, select the path, copy, butterfly icon 2, paste that into position. There's the second one. The third one, open up that path, copy, go into the third butterfly icon, paste that one. I have to make sure to turn these off first. Copy, position, paste, then on the path, copy, position, paste. There we go. Right, so that's looking more ideal. But because I pasted the keyframes all the way over here, I have to select them and drag them in. So that way, so make sure you have your playhead where you want it to be when you are pasting any values that will be affecting your keyframes. I forgot again. Alt and drag them out to lengthen the amount of time it's going to take to get from A to B. Maybe like 6 seconds. Yeah, I feel like that's not that bad. Okay, so we got that. That's done. Um, if you want the uh, map to be I don't know why this is, there we go. The map to be a different color, you can create a new solid and any color. You can then add in a gradient, effects, gradient, ramp, and add that to your solid. And then you can make that the colors you want it to be. Maybe swap them, that one, and make this one maybe that. Okay. Or even you could do cooler to, you know, warmer or whatever. Um, if you would like to make the bottom of this ramp be closer, and I would just adjust the Y position from up here, and I'm just hovering over the Y and dragging, just so that way, there you go, that's not so bad. That way I can make it like it's going from cold to warm. So now I can take the track map mode, which if it's not on, you'll want to turn on your modes over here. And so I want to go track mat, alpha mat North America, and that then just cuts out the PNG because it has an alpha channel, cuts it out and it applies it to cut out the gradient that we made. So there we go, we've gone that far. We need another scene, and the scene needs to be the butterflies flying scene. So we need to make a new composition, HD 1080-24, right here. Name this butterfly flight. And put this in the main scenes. And then we need to open up our assets and open up the monarch asset layers. We need the mountain. And we need the mountain background. So I'm just adjusting them and scaling them a little. So that way they're where I want them to be in the scene. I might take this mountain and just go Control D, drag it over this way, and do layer, transform, flip horizontal. That way I can Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so we've got our background mountains, we've got our foreground mountains, and we need our clouds. And all I'm doing is just copying the pieces that I have, like puzzle pieces, and putting them together into basically so it looks like I want it to look, basically. There we go, that should be fine. Maybe take the second medium one and scale it up. And just have it overlap with this one. That's fine. Okay. There we go. It's a little bit busy. Be like that, I guess. Okay. So I want the mountains in the back, clouds in the front. I need a new solid, same business, add a gradient, make the gradient the colors of the sky that I want. And if it's sunset, and then add a sun for our sunset. I have to make sure not to have any layers selected. And put this in the back. And cycle through the fills, cycle through the strokes till I have no stroke and I only have a fill. And select a color for my sun. Okay. And then V for the there we go. And I probably want to add a second one. So Control D. So this is sun. And this is sun halo. And I want to add a blur, Gaussian blur, G-A-U-S, Gaussian blur, to my sun halo and turn it up. Probably want to scale it up to S. Nope. I have to make sure that my anchor point is where it needs to be. So the setting for that though is in Edit Preferences. I'm gonna go to General for now. And appearance, no. Type, scripting, 3D, and notifications, display, import, output, grids and guides, labels. It's somewhere in here. There is a setting to make sure that when you create something, the anchor point's in the middle, but worry about that later. For now, sun halo, scale it up. And I need the Gaussian blur to be even more. Maybe not so far that it like reaches the edges, but maybe just a little. And then at the same time go to opacity, turn that down. And make the add. Okay. Could use, what is it? You know, we'll just do that for now. Okay, that's fine. Scale it back down a little. Oh well, that's fine. Maybe gradient ramp. Can I do that? Make it radial. Start, make it in the middle of our sun, and make it at the, really anywhere is fine, but the start color, I'll make it some bright color, and this can be a darker color. Orangey, there we go. Cut, paste. Go. I wanted to add it to this layer because if it is darker on the end, it does not add as much, I guess. I'd hoped. There we go, kind of. There we go, yeah. This is about aesthetics. So, make it look how you want it to look. This is what I wanted. Torture. So, the clouds all need to move, but they all need to also move not very much. So position and keyframe, go to the end and move them on the X, but a smidge, just a little, and then I'll deselect like a few of the back ones, maybe, and then have these move just a little further. And then deselect some of those, and then have those move a little further. You know, I kind of want to make sure that these are in a specific order. So I want this one to be closer to the screen. I want this one to be further away. I want this one to be closer to the screen. And I want this medium one here to also be closer to the screen. butterfly flight composition. Okay. This medium one. I want it closer to the screen. Okay. So it's a short. That's that medium. Okay. So select all these, position keyframe, go to wherever I think, however long I need this to be. So maybe like, I don't know. Let's go with 6.5 seconds. And just hold down shift, drag them but a smidge, deselect a few of these, drag them but a smidge further, deselect that one, let these go a tiny bit further, deselect that one, let them go, doop, deselect, there we go, go even a little further, there we go. There we go. Just always not so distracting, but it's also, and these might need to be even be like an even lower opacity. All right, so that's that. For our butterfly animations, we only need to make one, and then we need that one to then just be copied over and over again. So I'm gonna make a pre-comp project. I'm just gonna name it new composition. I'll just leave it 1920 by 1080. 10 minutes, leave that alone. Butterfly flying. There we go. And add in a wing. Add in the side body. Set up the anchor point. Y for the anchor point tool, because why do I need to keep doing this? It's important. That is why. It is very important to set your anchor points. So we got our anchor point set, and then the wing needs to be rotated. So this little tool right here is the rotation tool. W is the shortcut for that. I am also going to do layer, transform, flip horizontal, no, not horizontal. Layer, transform, flip vertical? Yes, okay. V for the selection / move tool, side body, adjust that. Okay, so W for the rotation tool. There we go. And then V for the selection tool. Maybe move the anchor point to like right here. And be rotated. Or W for rotation. Nope, wrong one. Y right here. This is the body. I need the wings. W, rotate. V again, selection. Okay, I guess that's okay. The body needs to be both in front of and behind a wing each. So Control D, I'm gonna make the other wing. So I'm gonna call this back wing. This one's gonna be called front wing. Okay. And then I need to make both of these, well, I think I'm gonna real quick select both. W for the rotate tool again. I might even rotate the body a little. There we go. That's better. And I need to turn both of these into 3D. So now they're 3D. And I need to possibly change the yeah. So R for rotation. We need to change the orientation. This will let us change the way that things are angled, but still leave these alone so that they will rotate the way that they need to. I might have to actually zero out the Z just in case. So that way I can just do it in orientation. I think this was like 93 or 100. I'll do 98. I can rotate the other one a little further to give it that little offset look. Cool, okay. So that's better that way. So that way when I rotate this, it doesn't mess it up. So now we need to make the parent-child relationship. I want the front wing to be the parent. I want the back wing to be the rotation. So I will be right back.